Hey yo, welcome back to the channel. It's Art with Pupcakes, and today I will be drawing the 50 states as people, part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1, I'd go watch that now because there will be spoilers here. First up is Alaska, also known as the last frontier. I thought it would be fitting to do Alaska since I did Texas last video. Texans love to say how Texas is the largest state, but we all know it's not true. That title belongs to the Arctic snowbanks of the 49th state. The way a moose is to Alaska is the same as a kangaroo is to Australia. You'll see the huge, dangerously territorial creatures everywhere, with their unpredictable temperaments and huge figure. The Alaska Yukon race is the largest sized moose species in the world. Never mind everything is bigger in Texas, everything's bigger in Alaska. Fellow Texans, please don't come after me. The Arctic fox is also an abundant species in the last frontier. Not to sound like an episode of Wild Kratts, but these foxes have survived the harshest biome on Earth through a combination of adaptations. From their thick fur to their short limbs and snout to concentrate warmth to their bodies, these adaptations have allowed them to survive temperatures as low as negative 50 degrees Celsius. They are also less skittish and fearful toward humans than red foxes, and have been known to disturb campsites after being fed like seagulls at the beach. A common misconception about Alaska is that it's all snow and it's always cold, but in reality, the state is actually very green with breathtaking landscape potential everywhere. While it is true that during winter it can reach negative 30 degrees, during the summer it's possible for it to be 80 degrees, but it's usually 70. While it is true that in North Alaska they do receive a polar night where the sun doesn't rise for 65 to 67 days, it's equaled out by the midnight sun phenomenon where the sun doesn't set for about 80 days during the summer. So here's Alaska sipping some hot cocoa from her moose mug, trying to stay warm in her parka, biding her time until summer. For this next one, I switched things up a bit, so I decided to draw Michigan and Minnesota together for a reason I get into later. Minnesota, or the North Star State, is the land of 10,000 lakes, which is actually an untrue statement because it doesn't have 10,000 lakes. It has over 11,000. The state motto is L'Étoile du Nord, which translates from French to Star of the North. The reason behind their nickname, the North Star State, stems from the French being the first to explore the area we now call Minnesota, back when it was the northernmost state. Now that saying has become a symbol of hope and direction. So I decided to add that motto onto the duffel bag beside a Target sticker, because Target was established in Minnesota, but by the end I'll be getting rid of the Target sticker because the company has been pretty problematic lately, to say the least. The state flower is called lady slippers, which got their name because of its drooping shoe-shaped petal. Now, enough of Minnesota, let's talk about Michigan. The state has 3 names: the Great Lakes State because it's the only state that borders 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, the Wolverine State, I believe, because of its early roots in fur trading, and my favorite name and most accurate in my opinion, the Mitten State, as the lower peninsula looks like a mitten, which is perfect because it represents how Michigan can get quite cold, though not nearly as cold as Minnesota. Michigan is known for its cherries, as it produces roughly 70% of the U.S.'s supply of tart cherries. They are also known for their apples, as they rank second in the U.S. in apple production, second only to Washington State. They are deeply connected to nature with all the fresh produce they grow through their rich soil. Now, let's get into why I decided to draw these 2 states that don't even share a land boundary alongside each other. Minnesota has been ranked the #1 hockey state for decades, but has been faced with Michigan as a thorn in their side and threat to this title. From the 1996 Michigan goal, or dirty trick shot depending on whose side you're on, to seat gripping overtimes, the 2 states have been at each other's throats like the chippy 1996 West Regional quarterfinals for years. And that's why I drew them together. Now, all of this was technically between the men's hockey team, but I really wanted to switch up the stereotypes in this one and let them be girl hockey players, especially because it makes me sad that there's no women's varsity team in either state college. I mentioned earlier how they don't even share a land boundary, as Wisconsin is placed smack dab between the 2 states, which I might actually include in Wisconsin's design, like they have to keep the 2 in check. But their borders do meet in the center of one of the Great Lakes, and that lake is none other than Lake Superior. If that's not a sign to draw them together, I don't know what is. It's like they're so drawn by competition, they travel over 100 miles of the greatest of the Great Lakes to meet and prove who's superior. Later, I give Minnesota some Charlie Brown socks because the creator was born there, and Michigan some Shady beaded bracelets for Eminem. And also, just because it makes them feel more alive, like they have hobbies and interests outside their hockey rivalry. I imagine Minnesota being this sort of hardcore hockey prodigy who might even poison the other team's water if necessary to win. If you know, you know. While Michigan is a more chill player who makes it look easy and would accidentally dodge Minnesota's prank by bringing her own electrolyte bottle or something. Hawaii, also known as the Aloha State. The 50th state is known for its native traditions and the birthplace of surfing. Its state bird is the nene, also known as the Hawaiian goose, which is a symbol of the connection between the people of Hawaii and their environment. The Hawaiian people are so protective and mindful of the world around them, they discourage people from taking seashells from the beach or coral and lava rocks, and it is even illegal in certain state-protected areas. It makes sense though, because seashells especially aren't just pretty souvenirs, they're the home of small wildlife and are their key to survival. The state flower is the yellow hibiscus, which represents beauty, joy, and the spirit and welcoming nature of aloha. In Hawaii, morality and right and wrong is defined by their stories, or what the natives call mo'olelo. They have been known to tell these stories in all the ways possible, through dance, art, and through the tattoos on their bodies. Gakgao is the name for the designs they have tapped into their skin by a wooden tool called the mo'oli. These tattoos aren't just an assortment of random shapes that make Hawaiians look cool. They're concepts and ideas written into their skin. Different shapes actually have different meanings, like triangles representing shark teeth that serve as protection/strength to the bear, or waves that indicate the ocean. It's also common to have animals in the designs that match the personality of the bear. Now, the surface level of all these facts is mostly well known, especially if you've watched Moana. But what I bet you don't know is that Native Hawaiians have a long history of cowboy culture, or more accurately called Baniolo. Back in 1793 was the first arrival of large mammals or cattle. An explorer had come and given the Hawaiian king of the time 6 cows and bulls. The Hawaiian people were not allowed to hunt these animals as to help them populate. And populate they did. At some point, the population grew too large and the cows were everywhere, destroying villages and even apparently eating people. To solve their cattle problem, the king brought vaqueros, Mexican cowboys, to teach the Hawaiian people how to wrangle, breed, and eat the cows and bulls. And then was born the Hawaiian cowboy, Baniolo. Here's my Hawaiian fire dancer and first male character of the series. I see this guy being really good at fire dancing and maybe owns his own ranch where he treats his cattle well before their last day. And I almost forgot to mention the flower on his hat. So usually only women do this, but to flip the stereotype, I decided to have a hibiscus on the left side of his hat and him wearing a wedding ring to show that he's taken. Over yonder is the next design, Mississippi, the Magnolia State or the Muppet State. The creator of the Muppets, Jim Henson, was born in Greenville, Mississippi. He created the term Muppet to combine marionettes and puppets. Growing up near Deer Creek with all the frogs, he must have fallen in love with the animals and decided to share them with others through his short film Sam and Friends, which later grew into the Muppets we know and love today. Another fabric animal born in Mississippi is the teddy bear. We've all heard the story of Theodore Roosevelt and his hunting expedition in Mississippi, but to refresh our memory, I'll quickly retell the story. In 1902, Theodore Roosevelt went on an expedition with some important political figure BFFs to shoot bears. Unlike everyone else, Theodore hadn't shot a single bear, so the others found and tied a black bear to a tree for Roosevelt to shoot. But he refused, as he found it to be unsportsmanlike. The story made it through the newspapers and soon fell into the hands of Clifford Berryman, a political cartoonist. He drew a little black bear in his satire of the event. The depiction spread fast, and soon he got the idea to make a stuffed bear to match the drawing, and named it Teddy's Bear. Now, this next invention didn't actually originate in Mississippi, but in Hawaii, the slide guitar. I couldn't find a way to fit it into Hawaii's design, but I still wanted to draw it, so I decided to add it to Mississippi, because the bottleneck slide guitar became popularized in the Muppet State due to the Delta Blues. The slide guitar is just like a normal guitar, except you use this tube or bottleneck around your finger and slide it across the strings instead of using a guitar pick. It creates this melancholic jazz sound that was a staple of the Delta Blues. And to pull the design together, I added magnolias to the bottoms of his shoes, which I think just looks so nice. I could see this guy loving the Muppets and stuffed animals of all sorts. It was probably the kid putting on puppet shows all the time. He might have played all sorts of instruments in school, which led him to his favorite, the slide guitar. It's hard to tell, but I drew a bottleneck on one of his fingers. Here are the final designs of Alaska, Hawaii, Mississippi, Minnesota, and Michigan. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I'll have to say my favorite is Hawaii just because I did so good on the flames, but what do you think? Which one is your favorite? And if you're from any of these states, tell me if I got anything wrong. Thanks for watching. Have a delicious Sunday. Bye, Lo.